Before we get started, can we just take a second to admire how awesome this t-shirt is that my girlfriend got me for Christmas. Thanks. So today is the second week of my conjugate program, which means that today is the first time I get to deadlift heavy. Much like the squats, I'm going to be starting from the hardest and going to the easiest, which means that this week I'm going to be doing deficit deadlifts with my purple bands, which you seen the other day. Also, not having the best of days. I tried to film this earlier on in the day, but realised that I hadn't charged my batteries for my camera. So today has been kind of a bit of a waste. The time now is actually 6:30 at night, and I've done nothing really apart from do some editing and wait for these batteries to charge. So this episode is going to be a little bit old school, which means that it will be just footage of me in the gym with probably a voiceover to accompany that. Sorry about that, guys. I'll try and be actually a little bit more productive and less stupid in the future, and I might actually charge my batteries. Idiot. Can we go to Sports Direct in town, please? Cheers, that. See ya. So I guess that this is the video that we've all been waiting for, and I finally get around to actually deadlifting heavy. Started off my day though with lots of warm-ups using my hip circle and the foam roller to warm up my glutes and back and all the things that need warming up for actual deadlifts. I'll be entirely honest though, I did not expect this day to go that well, seeing as though I have not lifted anything over 120 kilos on deadlifts for something like 2 months now. So it's almost as if I had to learn to lift heavy again. This week's variation is obviously going to be deadlifts, but we're doing deficit deadlifts with my purple bands, as you can see here. These bands add about 32 kilos each. So obviously if you do the maths, that's 64 kilos extra at the top of whatever free weight I have on the bar. Same as all my other lifts though, I am going to be starting with the hardest and working towards the easiest, which is obviously just competition style. But this week I'm going to be doing deficit deadlifts with bands. You quite often see people doing deficit deadlifts from like ridiculous heights though, but once you go past a certain amount of height, it just turns into a completely different movement. So here I'm using this yellow plate, which is, I believe, 1.75 inches. I think the most you should ever go on a deadlift, like a deficit, is 3 inches, because after that it just becomes a completely different movement and you're basically almost just squatting the weight up instead. As I said, I've not lifted anything over 120 kilos in 2 months, and also I haven't done this exercise specifically since something like March last year. Because it is such a massive variant to the competition deadlift, it's kind of like you have to relearn to lift again, because the force curve is completely different to just having straight weight on the bar. Deficit deadlifts make it kind of harder off the floor, but then also the bands make it harder at lockout, so there's no real easy point to this lift. I think last time I did this, I got something like 162.5 kilos bar weight, plus the band. Not expecting to get anywhere near that today, and honestly, I did not get anywhere near that today. This is my top set, which is 150 kilos. Let's be honest, that is not the best rep I've ever done, but it moved slowly, but it moved. So yeah, that's my top set for the day, 150 kilos plus the bands, which is 220, 225 at the top, I think. Afterwards, with all conjugate programming, I did my back off sets, which were 3 sets of 5 at 80%. Although I was slightly fatigued on this day, so I ended up doing 5 sets of 3 instead. Not quite the same, not 100% the same, but still the same amount of volume at least, just to get the work in. Afterwards, I moved on to my accessories, and this is probably the only time you'll ever see me use this piece of equipment, which is the pad that is used for squats, which most people use when they're a beginner. On this occasion, I'm using this to protect my hips, as I'm doing a new exercise today, something that I've said I'll do for the longest time, and that is hip thrusts, or glute bridges, whatever you want to call them. I have decided to do these because I really don't use my glutes enough in squats and deadlifts. So I figured that by trying to strengthen them with this exercise, I might actually grow a half decent booty and improve my strength overall on my lower lifts. After that though, I did some hamstring curls, which I completely forgot to film. Sorry about that. And then finished off with some leg extensions, because obviously quads are important in all lower lifts as well. Well, you can tell I've not done that in the longest time. It's my first week back deadlifting heavy since, I don't know, 2 months ago. But I'm happy enough getting 150 kilos with that, even though earlier in the year, about April, May-ish or something like that, I could get 165 with the same setup. All that's left to do now is to go to Asda, buy some food for the week so I can meal prep, and then go home and cook it. I'm going to be making the nice fajita thing without the wrap again, because that thing was so tasty. And then I'm going to relax and just enjoy my evening generally. Anyway, sorry about the kind of lack of vlog type footage this week. The battery issue was, yeah, somewhat of an issue. Hope you enjoyed that anyway. It's a bit of a throwback to when I first started YouTube. So yeah, if you like this, don't forget to like it, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want, and I'll see you all next time.
Just walk by. There goes a sight from my soul.